Industrial zones in India are creaking from years of underinvestment. Output too has been shrinking. This is one of the main access roads to one of the biggest industrial zones just outside Delhi. India has set itself some very tough targets under its new manufacturing policy. One is to increase the contribution of manufacturing to 25% of the national output, and second is to create 70 million new jobs. But unless there are some drastic reforms, especially in infrastructure, it looks like a tough challenge for India. So just how are the industries faring? We look at the garment industry, which is the biggest employer in the country, and the auto industry, which was among the fastest growing sectors in the last few years. Textile houses are the country's leading exporters. Like these women's tops headed to the US, most of the products made here are meant for American or European markets. With relatively cheap labor, the industry has succeeded despite fierce competition from neighbors like China and Bangladesh. Orient Craft employs over 24,000 workers. And the CEO, Anup Thattai, says they have done well despite government labor policies.
US consumer spending is up and the US consumer confidence is higher. And most of the American brands, especially, we're lucky to have good customers and their businesses are doing really well. That is showing an improved demand for our product. Our business will be an all-time high. We'll probably pick about 35% of our sales up from last year.
But the rest of the industry has been suffering because of poor infrastructure and difficult labor issues. Isn't that affecting you?
Of course it's affecting us. See, with better infrastructure, we could definitely ship goods faster, cut down the supply time, and also the manufacturing time. We as a company probably have the potential to grow to 300% if we were to have a good labor policy in place.
While exports have picked up on the back of a weaker rupee, many are worried that the real growth can come only from the domestic market. Take car sales. Many global car makers have rushed here with investments. But car sales have fallen in India over the past year, the first drop for more than a decade. Components maker Stock Rubber has also increased its investments. But Managing Director J.S. Rangar says he's worried.
Now there's a sharp downturn and this is really causing us a lot of anxiety because some of the projects we were planning on servicing from our Chennai plant have been deferred or delayed. So our investment is really on hold. So we don't know which way it's going and things are not looking very good either.
But 2 or 3 years ago, everyone was looking at India as potentially one of the biggest auto markets in the world. Not just in terms of domestic demand, but it was supposed to be a manufacturing hub for cars in the whole region. So what went wrong with the India story?
The basic lack of initiative by the government. The entire economic situation is very sluggish now, and India had projected that by 2020 we would be the third largest auto market in the world with close to about 9 million plus cars being produced a year. With current trends, we don't look anywhere close to that figure.
Many firms are calling for the government to take steps to revive growth urgently. Otherwise, many of these factories fear that they'll be forced to shut down.